on the YouTube connected with me. I'm Simple Batra from Simple Digital School welcomes each one of you. Today we are going to start up with the MIS lecture 20, which is spiral model in detail. We have to cover up SDLC model 4, which is the spiral model. In case you are new on the YouTube on Simple Digital School, then do check the description box for so many other informative videos. So let's start with today's session. We have to cover up spiral model, which is one of the very important topic of management information systems or information systems management, and it comes in the examination very oftenly, probably of 10 to 15 marks. So let's start up with this in detail with the clear notes included. So we are studying SDLC models or system development methodologies. These already 3 models we have covered. Today we have to cover up with the spiral model. So problems with the earlier models we should see first before jumping to the spiral model. Waterfall model, V model, as we have already seen in the previous lectures, you can go through also. It is clearly signified there are no requirements change facility available. In case you need to modify your requirements at any point of time during the system development last phases, it cannot be done here. So in case you have a predefined requirements very clear, then only waterfall and V model is applicable basically. Customer can preview the system only in the later stages, probably at the time of implementation. There was no risk analysis done. Majorly in the evolutionary prototyping model, cost becomes sometimes very high because there can be unplanned prototypes. The number of prototypes can go very high due to unplanned system of prototypes generation. Because till the time customer is not satisfied, prototypes are getting generated. It may lead to expensive systems. And inadequate documentation was a big problem. Long-term maintainability was overlooked. It was a big problem in the previous models. Now, what is the beauty of the spiral model? This was proposed by Barry Boehm in 1988. Process is represented as a spiral rather than a sequence of activities with the backtracking. If you can analyze, in the previous models, there was a sequence of activities which could be backtracked easily. But here we have a spiral shaped model. Each loop of the spiral is called a phase of the software development process. This is a very important model. Here every loop is called as a one phase of a software development model. Now, this is a simplified view of your spiral model. Your first job here is to determine the objectives. Now, identify and resolve the risks. This was step 2. Here, step 3, develop the next level of product and customer evaluation of the prototype. This was number 4. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you can see, this is a one spiral loop, and every loop is a one phase of a spiral model. And in every phase, every time determine the objectives, identify the risks, develop the next level product, and the customer is evaluating the prototype. So you can see here that the risk analysis is done in this particular model, which was not incorporated in the earlier models. Now this is your detailed spiral model. Basically we have a 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and in every quadrant few activities will be carried out, completed, and later they will be evaluated. Number 1, determine objectives, alternatives and constraints. We need to identify the objectives of our system. What are the alternative solutions possible? This also has to be analyzed here. constraints are the conditions under which the system can be developed. And with this move of the arrow, we are progressing in this particular model. And second quadrant deals about identifying and resolving the risks. We need to evaluate all the associated risks with a particular system which we are looking forward to develop basically. And what are the alternatives or the solutions for those risks which are found here. In the quadrant 3, you have to develop, verify the next level product. Means you are actually developing and testing the product. In the quadrant 4, you are planning the next iterations. Means you are basically executing the test plans here also for releasing your product to the end customer. Now, this particular loop, first loop starts from here and it goes on like this. Here the first prototype is generated, and if the customer is okay with your prototype, then it is developed in this particular quadrant. Otherwise, again the second loop will start where again the requirements will be refined, again risks will be checked, again development will be done, and again the prototype will be evaluated. You can check here one important thing, that this particular arrow which is going upward is showing the cumulative cost, because more will be the loops, more will be the phases of this particular model, the cost will become higher. Now, in the first quadrant, requirements plan is generated. You can see here it is written. And in the quadrant 2, prototype 1, 2 and operational prototypes are generated so that you can check out the risks with this particular project. In the third quadrant, you have design, coding, integration, test and implementation basically done, where the verification and validation is also done side by side. Here in this particular quadrant, test plans are generated in the end to check out again if there are no errors or bugs associated with the system which is developed in the quadrant 3, so that it can be released further, and for that the plan for the next iterations are carried out. Means if the product is fine, it can be released. If it is not fine, again the second phase or the second loop will start, where again all this process will be repeated. You can see that here it is taking care of verification, validation, requirements, risk analysis and everything through this parallel model. But it is a little complicated model. So let's see its advantages and disadvantages now further, and its detail of 4 quadrants. So the spiral model is cyclic in nature. It is like the cycle which keeps on going till the time the final product, which is very well developed as per the need of the customer, is not released. Each cycle or loop of the spiral model consists of 4 stages, and each stage is represented by the 1 quadrant. As we have said, 4 quadrants means 4 stages of every cycle or loop. The radius of the spiral represents the cost accumulated. I told you the arrow which was going upward, which shows the cost accumulated so far in the process, and the angular dimension represents the progress in the process. As we said, the arrow which was angular, it was representing the progress. The focus is the identification of problems and the clarification of these into different levels of risks. Which all problems are there existing and which all risks are associated with those problems. This was the aim of this particular model, and most important aim is to eliminate high risk problems before they threaten, to remove all those risks and problems which can harm the system in the future. Now 4 sectors of the spiral model. First is planning, second is risk analysis, third is development, fourth is assessment. These are the 4 quadrants jobs which are segregated here, as we have seen in the simplified view. Now, spiral model, quadrant 1, determine objectives, alternatives and constraints. Objectives, what are the objectives? Such as performance, functionality, ability to accommodate changes, hardware, software interface and critical success factors are identified here. We are talking objectives in terms of what functionality will be given, which kind of performance will be given by the system, how frequently or it is able to accommodate any kind of changes at the runtime, how the interface will be there of the system, what all critical success factors are there, they will be identified and listed here basically. Alternative means of implementing this portion of the product are determined. Constraints imposed on the application of the alternatives. Cost, schedule, interface, environmental limitations, etc. are determined. As I told in the very beginning, in the first quadrant, we look out for the alternative solutions, which all other solutions are possible for the problems existing in the system, and what all constraints are there, conditions are there, like cost, scheduling, which kind of interfaces we have to provide, and other limitations. Constraints and risks associated with the lack of experience, new technology, tight schedules, poor processes and so on are documented. Also, there can be other risks and constraints like lack of experience. Your people who are developing the system do not that much of experience to work upon with this kind of system. New technology, your schedule of timings, processes might be poor, so they all must be listed in the first quadrant before developing the system. Quadrant 2, which is evaluate alternatives and identify and resolve the risks. Now we have to talk about risks here in this particular quadrant. A detailed analysis is carried out for each identified project risk. Every risk is identified here in detail. Steps are taken to reduce the risk. For example, if there is a risk that the requirements are inappropriate, a prototype system may be developed. Yes, in case you have a system where requirements are unstable, then prototype model can be used in the second phase, in the second quadrant, to reduce the risk factors so that requirements can be redefined here. The identification and resolution of risks, risk management, cost-effective strategy for resolving resources, evaluation of remaining risks, where money could be lost by continuing system development, either to go on or not to go on with the decision occurs. Here, risk analysis involves all kind of activities like risk management, cost-effective strategy for resolving resources, which resources are required and how much cost is needed for those resources, and evaluation of remaining risks where money could be lost by continuing the system. There can be situations where the system development cannot be taken forward and can lead to huge losses in terms of money. So here we need to be very careful while taking decision. It is a big risk to carry on with the system or not in certain cases. Quadrant 3, develop next level product. Typical activities in this quadrant could be creation of a design, first activity, because now you have resolved all the risks, you are clear with the objectives, and review of the design, development of the code, inspection of the code, testing and packaging of the product. These are the activities of this particular quadrant 3 which are very important. You have design creation, review your design, develop the entire code, inspect the code for the errors and the bugs and the coordination with each other of the different modules. Testing and packaging of the product is done here only. Develop and validate the next level of the product after resolving the identified risks. Means now your risks are resolved, your product is packaged here. Further move forward if it is approved by the customer or not. Quadrant 4, plan next phase, and which is also known as assessment phase. Typical activities: development of the project plan, development of the test plan, that how this particular product can be released, and if the product is still not okay, then the next phase will be carried out in which particular manner. Review the results achieved so far with the customer and plan the next iteration around the spiral. Means if the customer is not satisfied, you have to go for the another iteration. If progressively more complete version of the software gets built with each iteration around the spiral, and in case your software is ready, it is approved, then how to release it, plan it out. So what are the strengths or the advantages? Number 1, risk handling, which is the best part of your spiral model. For the projects where there are so many unknown risks, spiral model is the best development model because it follows the risk analysis and risk handling at every phase, which is the main aim of this model. Good for the large projects. It is recommended to use the spiral model in the large and complex projects because it might go a little expensive also. Flexibility in requirements. Change in the requirements at a later phase can be incorporated accurately by using this model. So it is very suitable for the dynamic system where the requirements can be redefined. Customer satisfaction. Customer is satisfied here in the spiral model at the early phase of the software. So there is no problem associated with the customer. You can see here this model is doing a risk handling very nicely. Large projects can be handled. Flexible requirements, dynamic requirements can be handled. Customer can preview the system very well, so the customer satisfaction is done. High quality. It provides early and frequent feedback from the users. Since the customer is associated in this model, verification and validation is done, testing of every kind is done, even the requirements which are unstable can be handled very well. So this can lead to a very good high quality developed system because of the feedback. Management control. Good control of quality, correctness, cost schedule and staffing is improved through the review at the conclusion of each iteration. With every circular iteration, a spiral loop, you can see that a review report is generated. So a good control on the quality, costing, staffing, everything is done here. Cumulative costs, which can be generated through the radius in this particular model, which we have seen. It may be accessed frequently and decrease the risk associated with the cost. So estimating the cost here becomes easier with the cumulative costs through the radius of this particular model. Now the weaknesses of this model. Expensive. Very true. If the project is low risk or a small, this model can be very expensive one. The time spent evaluating the risk after each spiral is costly. Here, for risk analysis, a good time and money is spent, so it can be expensive. Now, the model is complex and the developers, managers and customers may find it too complicated to use. Both for the developers and customers, it might look to be little complex. Requires expertise. Considerable risk assessment expertise is requirement. You require the particular expert people to do the risk analysis or the risk assessment properly. Difficulty in time management. The spiral may continue indefinitely, generated by each of the customer's responses to the build initiating a new cycle. Closure may be difficult to achieve. In certain cases, it might happen that the customer is given again and again feedback, and again the next loop gets started, and you have so many multiple loops getting on that there is no closure achieved in this particular model, which can be a big weakness or disadvantage of this model, and this can lead to a very high costing here also and make the model more complex also. This is a big disadvantage. Too much dependable on risk analysis. Parallel model is mainly dependent on risk analysis. The main aim is to remove all kind of risks and make the system very much risk free. So risk analysis might go on long and can lead to the longer cycles. Now, when to use this particular model? For the projects that represent a medium to high risk, such kind of projects where you have a good amount of risk involved, medium or high risk based projects, when the requirements are not stable and there is no low cost project. Requirements are unstable but the project has to be of high cost, then only you can opt for the spiral model. If your project is of low cost, then do not go for this particular model even if the requirements are unstable. Significant changes are expected in the product during the development cycle. In case the frequent changes might be expected in the coming up time, then spiral model is okay. The spiral model is suitable for development of technically challenging software products that are prone to several kind of risks. In such situations where you have a software product to be developed which are challenging in terms of technical requirements, there use the spiral model. I hope it is clear with you that this model is little complex and requires a high costing here. So this was all about your spiral model. This is a very important model. It comes in the examination very often. Do write each and everything about this particular model. I'll be soon back with the model 5, which is iterative and incremental model. So till then, bye bye, take care, stay blessed and healthy. I'll be soon back. Bye bye, take care. Do like the video and share it.